Good morning, ladies and gents. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're feeling good. I am very tired. I don't know what his deal was last night, but Lachlan basically just didn't sleep like all night. We were up, like we put him down at like 7:38. He slept until literally right as Nikki and I were gonna go to bed, like right around midnight, and then he woke up just screaming bloody murder. And then like we got him up, we reset him, and over the course of the next like 3.5, 4 hours, he just like could not get it together. It was really weird. It was really weird, but eventually he did pass out. And oh, hold on. I have my Christmas lighting. See? See, it's Christmas, everybody. Yeah, maybe that's too aggressive. Here, hold on. Oh, we'll turn this one off. There, yay, Christmas. So anyway, yeah, I'm pretty pooped. I'm pretty pooped. I'm gonna stream for probably shorter than usual just because I'm like dragging, and you'll probably start to see that towards the end of this once we get further in. But good God, oh, it was a weird night. He normally goes down, sleeps like a pro, and then no problem. Oh, by the way, I replaced one of my OG PS5 controllers because they started drifting like crazy. This one's sexy. I like the red, the maroon. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. How are you guys? Enough about me. How are you guys? How was your weekends? Best week of the year? Hells yeah. I'm a fan of Christmas. My issue is that I always like blast past it, and I always put stuff off. So I'm like, I want to watch The Grinch. I want to watch like these Christmas movies. I want to make a gingerbread house. I want to do this, and this. And I always just get too busy, or I just stop paying attention, and then it blows by, and then I miss it. So I don't want that to happen this year. So I actually made a list. I'm checking it twice, and I'm going to make sure to do everything on the list before Christmas comes. So I'm going to make a gingerbread house. Nikki thinks I'm weird for liking to do that. As a kid, I always wanted to, and we just never really did. So now that I'm an adult, I'm going to do it. Like the sword. As a kid, we went to medieval times, and I wanted to buy a sword. And I said, one day I'll be able to get that. And fast forward now, I'm a full-grown adult. I went to medieval times like a month or two ago, and I bought the freaking sword, because why not? 16 times the detail? You better believe it.
16 times the detail.
Like the mugs that you can get on LukeStevensTV.com. Thank you, Tanner, for the $4.99. Very generous. Thank you.
Tanner Kading donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Happy Honda Days, Luke.
Happy Honda Days. Happy Honda Days. Oh, dude. I miss my Honda Accord, I'll be real. I do miss that car. I do miss it. I also like the freedom it gave me, because I could like leave the house whenever I wanted. Now I can't really do that. I'm a homebody, guys. I don't get out much. I said that jokingly to somebody at the coffee shop we went to like last week. And I was like, it's just nice to get out and see people. And like, oh yeah, you're stuck at home. And I was like, yeah, I don't get out much. And then she laughed and kept making the drinks, and I stood there and I was like, I don't get out much. Oh God. It was like, oh shoot. Yeah, no, I don't. So I think eventually we'll get another car, but I'm going to wait till the car market crashes, because apparently whatever it's called, Carvana is starting to dump all of their inventory. I know somebody who's works at a dealership, and he's like, yeah, no, they listed all their cars so we can go buy them for super cheap. It's really weird. So if you're in the States, wait to buy a new car until or a used car until probably March, and it'll be just ridiculous. You'll be able to find them everywhere, and it'll be super cheap. Yes, Benno, we will talk about the Assassin's Creed Jade leaks. I did see those. People were calling me, you know what, I'll save it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, people had some funny reactions to my reaction of it, because I was like, I think it looks really good. People are like, oh God, Luke's advertising mobile games now. I was like, I just said it looks really good, and it does. Like, it does look really, really good. Okay, well, I'll shut up. We're trying to save it. Okay. Oh, man. Self-control, Luke. Self-control. Let's see. What are your big Christmas movies? Definitely The Grinch with Jim Carrey. I think that's my favorite. It's top of my list. We also watch, like, Four Christmases. That's one we always watch when we go to the cabin at Thanksgiving. Elf, kind of a must. You know, nothing that would surprise you. All kind of the standards. No Die Hard. Maybe if we have time, but it's pretty low on the priority list. Home Alone, yes. Yes, Home Alone is on the list. Nikki prefers Home Alone 2. I kind of prefer the original, but I'm flexible. But I'm not watching Home Alone 2 without first watching Home Alone 1, you know? Like, I can't just skip to 2. That's just wrong. And the other weird Christmas thing that I enjoy is, oh my God, I just totally spaced it. What the hell is wrong with me? My brain just, like, totally dumped what I was going to say. Well, maybe, was it a video? I don't know. I just had a total brain fart. One of the things I do like playing is going back through, like, Batman Arkham Origins. That's fun. You guys will see a video Friday about that. So I do like that. That's amazing. I, like, was saying the thing I wanted to say, and then in the process, my brain just dumped it. I was like, yeah, not important. Yeah, you don't need that. Wow, I am tired. I'm addicted to Naraka now because of your video. Good, Gyro. I'm glad. Like I said, it's a really high praise when the devs come out and are like, hey, we'd like to sponsor you to make a video on our game. And I'm like, okay, but I got to say whatever I think. I can't, like, you're not going to pay me to do one of these ads where it's like, and Raid Shadow Legends has the best combat of any game I've ever played. I'm not going to say that because it's not true, right? So I have to be able to say what I actually think. And they were like, yeah, no, please. Just try it. Like, we'll just pay you to play it and put a video up on it dedicated. I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's cool. Cool. And I actually happened to play pretty well. People were accusing me of having, like, developer mode on for that video to make it look like I was better at the game than I actually am. I'm like, no, first of all, like, when you start the game, you'll be paired up against a lot of, like, bots and stuff, but I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, you can look at me playing. I'm not very good at Naraka. I just happen to get paired against some losers. The last one who died in the gas. Like, you're going to say that I was, like, hacking and cheating when the last guy died in the gas? He was so incompetent he couldn't climb up the cliff? No. I'm not talented. I just got lucky. Let's see. Is Batman Arkham Origins still worth playing? I love all the other Arkham games, but never played Origins, as I didn't get the best reviews at the time. I think it's still worth playing. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's made by the team that did Gotham Knights. But I think it's better than that game because they were still, like, they were heavily instructed to follow in the footsteps of Rocksteady to not mess with it too much. So there's a couple weird things. Like, I don't find the story as interesting. All of the cutscenes are pre-rendered, which is really weird. Little eccentricities like that, but yeah, I don't know. I like it. How did I come up with my channel name? I stole it from my parents. They came up with it. I just came right in and I was like, it's mine now. Luke is the Naraka Nadia. No matter what you think about Nadia and the COD cheating thing, if she was literally any other streamer, we could all agree that she should be, at the very least, indefinitely banned for knowingly doxing people who were donating and teasing her. Like, if you guys sent me a donation right now, and then I flipped around because you said something like, hey, Luke, your hair looks like it came out of a cake mold. It's kind of true. But if you said that, and then I was like, you know what? John Smith out of Alberta, birthday to... Clearly, I should be shut down for that because that was vindictive. I knew what I was doing. I did it intentionally, and I did it repeatedly. Let's just say, like, I spent 5 minutes repeatedly saying it, spelling it out letter by letter. If that happened, we could all agree that I should be booted, right? For Nadia, she gets permabanned, and then it changes to a 14-day ban, and then only 5 hours later after the initial ban, she's brought back. That's insane. Everybody should agree that that's ridiculous. And this is one of the reasons we moved to YouTube, because YouTube has its own eccentricities. But Twitch especially, it really does feel like the rule enforcement is entirely arbitrary. If you're on Twitch's good side somehow, then they'll give you special exceptions to the rules. And then if you are on their bad side, or if they just don't like you, they'll screw you over like Dr. Disrespect with no explanation. Like, honestly, and I'm not joking, I do think that Twitch is a better platform for female streamers than YouTube. And it's primarily because the culture is there. And then also Twitch basically just doesn't enforce rules. Like, it's for a lot of female streamers, and it's weird. It's really weird.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling. Spider-Man. Miles Morales is a Christmas tradition for me, along with Home Alone, Elf, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Thank you, Gambit. I was going to say The Hobbit. The Hobbit is actually one of my Christmas traditions. I love The Hobbit. I know it sucks. I know it's not the best, like, fantasy trilogy, and it's really bloated. I don't know why I like it. I shouldn't. But I do really like chilling to The Hobbit. And then if I'm feeling extra good, I will blast through the Lord of the Rings movies after that. Did I buy any Trump supercards? Dude, that was so much worse than anybody could have possibly imagined. For those of you outside of the States who might not have heard, Donald Trump sent out a tweet or a message on his own social media platform, Truth Social, where he said that he had a major announcement for X day at X time. And everybody's like, okay, he's announcing that he's running for president again. And then he announced that he's releasing a series of NFT trading cards that are just a bunch of Photoshop pictures of his face on top of like Superman's body and his face on top of like an astronaut. And it's like, it's unbelievable. Like, if he was trying to troll people, he did great. But a lot of his fans are like, oh, well, like, his fans are upset because, like, this is stupid. And then everybody else is teasing him because they're NFTs. Like, it's unbelievable. We live in a simulation, dude. Oh, they sold out the same day. You gotta be joking. No way. First of all, I don't know how you sell out of digital trading cards, but oh, they're at the mall. Oh, that's cute. Sorry, my family just sent a thing. Oh, where my mom is, it's -24 with wind chill. That's horrible. Wyoming for you. Hold on. My watch and phone are going off. Here, I'm gonna turn on filming mode on my phone. One of my favorite features is of the iPhone. You can just turn on the different modes or focuses. Just tune out certain notifications while leaving others on. I love it. Let's see. Wyoming is great. I miss it. I like going in smaller doses. I can go and, like, I don't know. It's a slower pace of life. Like, people are just really chill. Some of them are, like, kind of insane, but they're really chill. I went up there to a gas station, heard a guy just casually using the N-word with a hard R. Just casual, while filling up his big gulp. It's like, oh, we are not in Kansas anymore. It's like, good God almighty. But yeah, that's Wyoming for you. What state are you in, Luke? I'm in Colorado. I'm a Colorado boy. Mafia 3 roleplay? Yeah. No kidding. It blew my mind that caused, like, drama when that game launched. That people were upset that Mafia had, like, realistic depictions of segregation and racist dialogue and stuff in that game. I was like, would you prefer it if they just pretended like it didn't like, what are you even saying? It doesn't make any sense. Proto, thank you for the $10. Appreciate you. Come to Eastern Oklahoma. It's terrible here. Oh, dude, I believe it. I grew up in like northeastern Texas. Like 7 years of my childhood we spent there. Proto, don't worry. It's going to do the text-to-speech in a second. Yeah, see? There. I just have to summon it and it'll occur. And yeah, at least back then, like 10, 15 years ago, it was like a different world.
Prota donated $10 through Super Chat. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas and holiday season. Slightly smiling face.
Ditto. Slightly.
Also, your hair looks like you came out of a cake mold.
Banned.
Your hair looks great. Please don't dox me, smiley face.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you as well, Proto. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate you. Do you like the Colorado Avalanche or any Denver teams? Like, I'll go to the occasional game, but I don't follow it really. I don't keep up on it. I saw the internet exploding with like World Cup stuff yesterday. I have no idea what's going on. Like sports in general, I don't know what it is. I really struggle to get into like a tribalistic rah-rah team-based mentality. Like if I wanted to be into football, or if I wanted to be into hockey, or if I wanted to be into whatever else, I don't know if I could, even if I wanted to, because my brain just does not work with the team-based thing where I am always rooting for this one group no matter what. My brain doesn't work that way. It's weird. Yeah, what about chess? Do you watch the World Championships? I do, like, I wouldn't say that I sit down and watch the 8-hour games, but like yesterday I was watching the speed championships with Magnus and Hikaru. If you follow me on TikTok at Luke Stevens TV, you could see my TikTok now, which is where they send you a notification. You have 3 minutes to take a picture or a video wherever you are, no matter what, of the front and back camera. It's like the Be Real or whatever. And so if you follow me on TikTok, you could have seen, that picture of me sitting here watching the match between Hikaru and Magnus. That thing was insane. Magnus did drop a bishop randomly. It was actually pretty funny. Magnus drops a bishop. This is it. Hold on. Moving things. I have too much crap. This.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, you would like to put both of your pieces. Yeah?
So, like, watch what he does here. He just, like, totally has a brain fart. Magnus is playing white, okay?
He's playing the endgame.
Bishop b4, f3, okay, not a big deal.
That's knight a2 is coming,
yeah. I mean, all these knight a2s, the knight on a6 has to stay there because bishop c7 is otherwise always
Come on, come on.
threat if the knight moves from a6.
But anyway, it's not going very far, actually.
Yeah, knight h.
And then he just like moves the bishop to c7 and drops the bishop.
Oh my god, Magnus blundered the bishop.
And then he just immediately resigns. It's like, oh my god. Like, it's weird for the world champion to have a big oopsie like that, but it happens. It happens. If he hadn't have done that and had drawn the game, he might have been able to pull off a win. But Hikaru is just a beast. Hikaru and Bullet is something else, dude. When do they use their ults? When are we doing that chess tourney on stream? I am not sure. I think it'd be fun, but I do think I do think that it would only be fun if we could like fill up the tournament. Last time we tried to do it, granted, we had like a 15th of what we have now in terms of viewership. But I'd like to have at least like 8 to 12 people who would want to jump in and try to play in a little tournament. I think that could be cute and fun. But I'd want to make sure we could fill it up. Did I watch Ludwig's chess boxing event? No, I have no idea what it even was. I tried to figure it out and tried to see what was going on. I just have no idea what it even was supposed to be. Like, is it boxing? Is it chess? I don't understand. I feel like a boomer, but I don't get it. There we go. Stream essentials. Loading. Pot friend origin. Please do this, please. Emote type. You mean like add it to our emote bin? I think I can. The issue with YouTube is the way we unlock new emojis is with new members. So the more members we get, the more slots we unlock. But right now we're at capacity, I think. Reenact it. Okay, for everybody at home, he sent me a picture of Pot Friend, which is the character from Elden Ring, who's doing like the hand on the... It's yeah. Somebody's gonna Photoshop that now. Just wait. Imperium will get his hands on it and go crazy. Look, I've played every single Assassin's Creed game and even 100% into each of them until Origins. Loved all, but I've never touched Valhalla. Your videos make me scared to play it. I don't know. Every time I've talked to somebody who's been skeptical of it, gone in to try it, they all go, you know what? Yeah, it's really not very good. But I, played it for 25, 30 hours and actually generally had a pretty good feeling with it. And I think that that's okay. The big thing with Valhalla at the end of the day is that it overstays its welcome. And so if you play it and you just honestly, when you stop having fun or when your brain tells you, I kind of want to stop, just trust yourself and stop. It's okay not to finish it. Trust me, you're not missing out on much. The problem is that it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. And it'll break you. It'll break you. So just trust your gut. And if in 6 months you want to go back and pick up where you left off, great. But it's much more like an MMO than it is like a typical single player action RPG. Valhalla is my turn my brain off game while in law school. Nick, we all need one of those. Darkland, I would like to. I'm going to go through the comments and see what people said on that video that we posted today and see if it's worth doing a High on Life critique. Because I think it would be nice. I have all my notes already. I just, like, before we sit down and spend a few days working on it and grinding it out, I want to make sure that it's not going to, like, totally bomb. I'll watch it. I just finished God of War. It was great, but getting it. But again, when Otis and Chris kissed, it was crazy. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah. One of the funny things, no matter how many times we go back through the script, no matter how many times we double check stuff, and I have people verify, we always miss a couple of things. Like apparently there is some indication, like on the post or whatever, of some of the Muspelheim challenges and which orders you need to try things. I think people misunderstood slightly what I was saying, because it's not as clear as I would like. I still think even based on what's in the game now, I think it could be improved and could be clearer without affecting anything except making the game feel better. But still, there's always a bunch of little stuff that is very surprising that people catch. Let's see. Rank Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla 1 to 5 being best. Luke Stevens. Sorry if this is coming. Oh, you're fine, Logan. For me, let's see. Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I will be completely honest. I'm very biased towards Origins because I'm an ancient Egypt nerd. So this is kind of specific to me because I just love ancient Egypt, and getting to climb on the pyramids was a game, like a dream come true. But I'd probably say like Origins. And this changes so often based on what I've played recently, because some of these sound like Syndicate. It sounds really good to go back and play Syndicate right now. Like, it just feels like it would scratch the itch. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you asked me this question tomorrow, I would give a different answer. But I'd probably say today, I'd probably say like Origins, Odyssey, Syndicate, Unity, Valhalla. And like Unity, I'm putting a little bit lower because I tried to play it recently and it still has some issues. It's certainly way better, and I think you can enjoy the game now on PC at least, but it still has major issues with like pop-in and all sorts of stuff. How do you feel about buying digital games over physical games? I mean, at this point, they're kind of all digital. Like, even when you buy a physical copy of the game, 99% of the time you have to like verify and validate the disk with their servers online, and then it'll push a 60 gig update to you. So at the end of the day, we're basically all it's all digital. And it's only going to become even more so. I like a lot of the features of digital games. Cloud saves probably being chief among them, but I wouldn't say like I have a hot take. But you know, it's just it's one of the realities of modern gaming. You know, they don't need to produce the discs of the games when they can just put it out for digital code that doesn't cost them anything. Have I thought of playing the Portal games? I actually just played Portal 1 like a week and a half ago. It's funny you mention that. I just played Portal 1. Still very good. Still very good. Pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. That was my turn off brain game. I just blasted through it. I replayed Syndicate halfway through the semester. Would recommend as another turn off brain game. Don't go in with any expectations. Just enjoy it like you enjoy junk food. Yep. Exactly, Nick. It's like Oscar in The Office says, the analytical part of my brain wants to analyze it, but I know it has no content. That's kind of how I feel with those. It is nice to have the disc collection. I don't know. I kind of get frustrated. You can see like down here, I've got a bunch of like PS5 or PS4 games, Blu-rays, Xbox games and stuff. Switch games are down in this little corner. And like, it's fine, but like I much prefer just being able to launch the game digitally. I kind of like that. Have you heard of the issues of Syndicate on PS5? I do remember hearing something about that. Yeah. I remote play in bed a lot, so I like getting digital so I can switch easier. Yeah, Mike, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, especially for a lot of these console games. I mentioned this in my Death Stranding video where we went back and tried it. It's like, I don't know if they fixed it, but it was like totally broken. I bought the PS4 version of Death Stranding at launch, played it, but now associated with my PlayStation account, it thinks that my version of the game has to have the disc to play. But like, that's really annoying because this PS5 doesn't have a disc drive that I have in the studio. The one upstairs has a disc drive, but this one doesn't have a disc drive. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just download the version of Death Stranding from the PlayStation Plus collection and play that. Well, there's some bug, or at least there was a month or two ago. There's some bug where it cannot recognize that it can launch the cloud or the PlayStation Plus version without the disc. It still thinks I need the disc to play it. It just doesn't recognize that they're like two separate things, which is unbelievable. It's ridiculous. And I've heard like nobody talk about it. So maybe they fixed it, but I was like, are you serious? I just like can't play the game now? That's ridiculous. Hero Brian, Star Citizen Wave 1 persistent testing universe is out. We can draw PPs on ship holes with new hole salvaging. Revolutionary Starfield is already irrelevant. It's funny you mentioned that actually, because look what I had pulled up on my desktop because I was checking today. I was actually checking. I was like, I wonder if 3.18 is out. And then I checked. Not for me. Not for me. I Googled it, and apparently they are slowly unlocking it for certain people, but I'm not one of them. Honestly, I could oh my God, Rocky. I gotta be careful. I have to be careful doing these poses. You never know. You never know. But yeah, I don't know. I am excited to get in and try it. We'll see. It's probably going to break performance, let's be perfectly honest, but we'll see. At least it wasn't the Doki Doki poses. Oh, Imperium did something with that. Hold on. Where's Imperium? There. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this. With me doing all the poses and everything. Do you even play Doki Doki Simp? Out of all the games I have critiqued, Doki Doki would be my favorite. Uwu. You should have said is the most tremendous, or is or is utterly tremendous. Oh, wow. By the way, did you guys see that one piece of fan art that I tweeted out? It was actually pretty funny. Porcus put it together. Utterly tremendous with the 16 times the detail mug. It's great. It's great. You guys are too talented. It's markedly better. Yeah. Oh, Switch games. Mario Rabbids. I'm a diehard fan of Mario Rabbids. Kingdom Battle. It's great. Star Citizen, it's raised $110 million this year alone. I mean, I think what it is that suckers like me. Yeah, look at this. Suckers like me come along and we make videos on the game and we show it off to a new audience of people and they see it and they're like, that actually looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And so they jump in, they throw $45 to get access to it, and then they get a little taste of it. And part of the issue, and I'm going to be real, this is something I'm actually kind of worried about, and that might change how I do content on it moving forward. But one of the issues is that, like, I made that video where I was flying around a ship that you can buy, but you have to spend 600 real world dollars on it, or you have to grind for a long time. I mean, if you're starting from absolute scratch and trying to work your way up to that huge space yacht, you're gonna need to spend probably a couple months in the game playing pretty actively to get to that point. Let's be completely honest. I know you can say like, oh well, you go mining and you do that stuff to earn the money. I get it, but when you start the game from zero, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So I think part of the issue is that people see streamers or YouTubers like me put out videos where we're driving these crazy ships. And they say that looks really fun. And then they get in the game and they go, I mean, I'm not having people send me random, 35 million in-game credits. So maybe I'll just drop like another $50 for a bigger ship. And so they do something like that. And that's how you get to the point where the average contribution per citizen, per Star Citizen member is over $120. That's crazy. Look at any fundraising thing on Earth. I don't think you'll find another instance where you have like over 4 million contributors and the average contribution is over $120. That's crazy. For political campaigns, the average contribution is like $4 or something. Like, it's nowhere near this. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous, but like we're fast approaching the point where I think what they have is really impressive and good, but they've got to start locking up performance. They've got to start refining it. They've got to they just need to start tying these knots together. But yeah, or you can just be a streamer or a YouTuber and you'll get people to send it for free. Yeah. Yeah, look at this huge spike. They just had a ton of people come in and start throwing money because of the free fly accounting adjustments. Best in show, finale, Drake. I don't know, man. It's wild. It's wild. We'll be checking it out. We'll continue to try it and play it. So I'm hoping that they can start to put it together. Let's see. Average is more spread out. There's a lot of people that only spend under $100. Then there's a lot of people that spend $500 to create their fleets and such. Yeah, this is one of those charts where not just average is useful, but like the median would be really, really useful. If we knew the median, I don't know if they have that listed here, but come on. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it continues to unfold. But yeah, you do need a very powerful computer to run it. No cap. Dead ass. You do. Luke, pick my next game and I have to play it. It has to be on PC and I have a high quality rig. Ooh, Ethan, I get to pick it. Part of it is that I don't know what you've already played, but let's see. Let me look in my folder. Wouldn't it be funny if I just assigned you to play something super old? Just like, what is something that would be good for you to play, or at the very least funny for us to like assign you to play? You know what? First things first. It's short. Okay, it's short. You might have already played it, but first things first. One of the easiest recommendations I can make to anybody is The Forgotten City. It's not super intensive graphically. I don't think you'll need like a crazy rig to run it. It's fairly short at probably like, depending on how many endings you want to go for, it's probably like 6 to 10 hours, right? Relatively straightforward. But good God almighty, this is one of my favorite games I've played in the last like 5 years. It's wonderful. So I'd say go for it. You'll update me in the Discord? Okay, Ethan, good. Yeah, and this was made by 3 people. 3 people. It's crazy. And if you if you think that you could do something to tweak the ending, you probably can. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Oh God. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Is it on PS4? I don't actually know. Let's do a quick Google Googs. The Forgotten. I think it's on Game Pass as well. PS4. It looks like it is. Yeah, it is. So you can play it on PlayStation. You can play it on Xbox. Oh, the Game Pass removed it. Okay. Well, I mean, it's like $25-$30 depending on where you get it. So it's not crazy. Plus you're helping a very small studio. So it's good. It's good. And it's narrative really, really well done. It's like, if you think that you can tweak something to get a different ending, you can. I found a secret ending that the devs were like, yeah, we've looked at a lot of videos that people have made on our game, and like almost nobody has talked about the thing that you found in the game. And I was like, that's pretty fire. That's pretty fire. So it's so good. Do you think if we get Uncharted 5, we'll be playing as an old Nathan Drake who has to stop to take his IPS tablets to the gameplay? I don't know. I think they're setting it up so Nathan Drake's daughter takes over. I think that's what they're doing. We'll see if it works. Like, I'm sure it'll still make money. I don't think it'll be as iconic as Nathan Drake, but because people act like this is some sort of sexist issue. It's not. It's just like, if you have a franchise that's really, really popular, and then you take that franchise and try to rename characters and replace characters, it's always going to fall flatter than the original that was beloved. It just will. It doesn't have anything to do with the gender or race of the people that you replace the original characters with. It just feels corporate. That's all it is. If you replace Superman, like standard Clark Kent Superman, with like a Scandinavian little girl in a wheelchair, it's probably not going to do as well as the original. I'm sorry to break it to you. It just won't, because it'll feel like pandering, shilling, whatever, like virtue signal bullcrap. And like, I think that's part of the reason The Lost Legacy just landed flat for so many people. And it's because like, it does just feel like an attempted spin-off to force new characters into a franchise. Well, not new characters, but you get what I mean. To force new characters we knew into the spotlight as the new protagonists. And it just feels weird. People get mad over everything these days. I don't care about gender, race, as long as the characters themselves are good. I'm fine. Yeah. That's generally my vibe. Like, I'm down to I want games to be inclusive. I want games to be diverse. Absolutely. But you also need more to character writing than just that, right? Like, and I think people in those minority groups would agree with that, right? Like, I would hope that you'd have more sophistication to the characters than just, you know, they're like South Park. They're the token black character in the cast, you know? Like, I hope they have a little more nuance to it than just that. And it was one of my frustrations with Aloy, because it felt like with Aloy, they wrote her where she couldn't have vulnerability. In Forbidden West, they even bring in her clone and then have the clone express all the anxieties that she should be feeling. But Aloy comes along and is like, suck it up, Buttercup. We're going to save the world. And she just is totally unaffected. And it doesn't make her relatable. It doesn't make her cool. It just makes her seem like a robot. And it's not sympathetic. I'm just not interested. Whereas like Ellie or Senwa or Amicia, those are all female characters who are tremendously written because they're people, right? Yeah, it's not Token. It's Token. Yeah. That was such a funny twist, dude. I loved that. It was so funny. Then everybody's like, am I racist? Am I the racist guy? Because I've been calling him Token, but his actual name is Tolkien. It's so good. It's so freaking good. Oh, and you better believe they were sitting at like dinner or something, and one of them just said, yeah, did you see on Twitter somebody was freaking out because we named the one black character in the main cast Token? Like, wouldn't it be funny if like we came out and announced that all along his name was Tolkien? So then the people that were calling him Token are the actual like kind of problematic people. They're like, let's do it. And it's great. It's great. I love it. South Park is God tier, man. Oh, it's just so freaking clever. There's just so many cases where they flip it around. Like, they wanted to make a point that college sports are like highly predatory. So they set up a whole thing where they have Cartman go and he wants to run his own crack baby basketball event, and he dresses up like a Southern plantation owner and he goes to colleges to try and recruit athletes. He's like, oh yeah, I'll give you 50 for the white ones and 80 for the blacks. And he's like, sir, are you talking about our student athletes? Oh, student athletes. Oh, lordy, that is good. It's so good. Because it's like, yeah, no, they're basically just profiting and forcing these people to labor, in these college sports with the promise of maybe eventually working for the NFL where they could get rich. But they force them to do this, or not force, but if they want to be on the football team, they have to do it. They have to do all of this media. They have to be in video games, they have to do all of this stuff, and they don't get paid a dime of it. Meanwhile, the colleges are making millions off of it. Like, seems kind of like, seems pretty predatory, but it's just brilliant. Like, they just break it down in those interesting ways. Yeah, Carl, I think that's what, like, at first glance, South Park can seem like one of the stupidest, most childish and immature shows on TV, because you see the like really outrageous stuff where, like, you know, in The Stick of Truth, you fight Kim Kardashian's aborted fetus and stuff. You see stuff like that and you're like, okay, yeah, no, that's just really dumb. But then you see episodes like that and you see that a lot of the time there's actually a lot of like pretty nuanced political commentary going on, and it's just great. It's just great. Yeah, everybody needs a little integrity, a little bit of integrity. Okay, well, we have a handful of little topics to go through. I think first and foremost, things that we could touch on, I don't actually know. What do you guys think? I guess you could look at if you Google Assassin's Creed Jade leaked gameplay, you'll find it. So I'm looking at it now, and I will, just because I don't want to potentially get in trouble for this, I will let you guys look up if you want. Just Google Assassin's Creed Jade gameplay leak if you're interested. What I will say is that based on what we see in the 2-minute 40-second clip that I'm looking at right now, is a prompt where you are rushing to a nearby village. It's clearly a mobile game. The controls are on screen. And it honestly looks like pretty close to what Assassin's Creed Origins looked like in terms of quest structure. It doesn't look like a mobile game at all. The controls are pretty clunky and wonky, but it looks really, really good. But it seems like one of those games that you probably should be playing on a controller, right? But I mean, all told, for a mobile game, it looks really, really good. Now, am I going to like play the crap out of this? No, I probably won't. I cannot stand the mobile format of like holding the phone and getting your thumbs greasy all over it. I just don't like that format. And then using a controller with the phone on it, I would rather just like use xCloud or my Steam Deck to play a game natively, or to stream through xCloud a game that is a little bit bigger and better. But, you know, whatever. But either way, I mean, this is a very impressive mobile game. If this is actually running on mobile hardware, it doesn't look bad at all. One thing I will say that's interesting is when they go into the cutscene, you'll notice on that video that there's a ton of, it says UID, it looks like. Maybe UIQ, I can't tell, it gets really blurry, but I think it's UID, which I assume is user ID. And it's a series of numbers. What I would guess is every time that they go into like a cutscene, they trigger this to go on screen. Yeah, 100 or 1,000,039 is the user ID. And I would guess that that's how they track leakers. So Ubisoft saw that this leaked. They're going to look up user ID 1,000,039 and they're going to figure out who that was. And now they can blame that person for the leak, right? But either way, like, this is a very impressive video, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. I just like, I don't know. We've seen other Assassin's Creed mobile games, and none of them have looked anywhere near this good. And this really does look like just a slightly smaller scale version of what we've had the last 5 years, and that's pretty impressive. So pretty good for a mobile game, if we're being real. Pretty good. Do you guys know what this is the very last frame of it. What is Kogan? What is that cellular provider? Where is that? Because that probably tells us where this leaker was located. Kogan is in Australia? You use it? Interesting. Because I don't think the development team is in Australia, so I don't know how that happened. Interesting. But I mean, all told, I don't think that the game is going to be amazing, but graphically it looks really impressive, and that shows that they're doing a lot of tech optimization to get it running, which is cool. Yeah, goddammit, Rocky, stop leaking games. So I mean, that's badass. I am optimistic. We've heard other leaks and stories about the other Assassin's Creed games. You guys will remember Friday we talked about the leaks surrounding Assassin's Creed Hex, codename Hex, and Assassin's Creed Red. Red apparently has had all sorts of development issues. That's the team behind Odyssey. And they are running into multiple like delays and issues. They just can't get it out. Looks like it's going to be delayed internally. It's just a whole mess. Whereas Assassin's Creed Hex has received overwhelmingly positive impressions and is looking like it'll enter full production pretty soon. But that game isn't expected out until like 2026. So we have a while. As for Mirage, nothing. Which is weird. I cannot tell you how weird it is. We're hearing more about the games, and now we've seen more about games that are years out, multiple years out. We've seen more of those games than we have of the game that's supposed to release in a couple months. And I know, internally it's rumored to be delayed till August. Officially it isn't, though. As far as I know, as of right now, I don't think they've officially announced that it's been delayed. But even if they have, like, this game was supposed to be out in the next couple months, and then it was delayed. The whole thing is very weird. Very, very weird. And we've been trying to push skepticism and things on this channel for the last probably 6 months. It's been kind of a theme, an ongoing theme of the channel. And I will just stress once again that I'm worried about it, and I'm not going to be giving it any sort of benefit of the doubt. I will be reaching out to Ubisoft probably right after Christmas to try and get on the list for any preview events and stuff that they'll probably do. But I mean, to be honest with you, last time for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they invited me to a preview event to play the game. It was through like remote play through Parsec and everything, but I got to play the game a full, like, I think it was 6.5, 7 months before the worldwide launch. I got to play it. Not just see some screenshots or see gameplay video that they recorded. I got to play the game 6 months before launch. And that's right now, nobody knows what the game even is. Like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, sorry. So, lesson learned, everything about Mirage is a red flag. Red flags in chat. Represent. Is a mirage. God damn it. Someone turn that into a GIF. Oh, that actually would be pretty funny. What if we had something in chat? I bet I could do this, where we had like a bot. So every time somebody puts like 3 red flags in chat, it triggers on screen me in the GIF doing the red flag thing. I bet we could get that working. Rocky, could you look up if there's a bot for YouTube chat specifically that can do that? Because I know they have it with Twitch, but I don't know if they do it with YouTube chat. But I think that would be really funny. Sounds abusable. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nadia fake, someone's still not banned. Yeah, for the love of God. Oh, Nadia. Anyway, the Assassin's Creed Jade leaks are actually fairly impressive. Normally these leaks, we look at them and we're like, oh God, and you know, it's still in development. It's probably sucky. It'll get better, but you know, give them some time. This one, I look at it and I'm like, they didn't want people to see this as far as we can tell. And yet it looks really good. Like normally they show us stuff and then they walk it back over time with like, you know, visual downgrades and stuff. They didn't want us to see this. So are they going to walk this down and it's going to get downgraded even more? I don't know. I have no idea how game development on mobile works for like multiple generations of iPhones and stuff. I don't know if you have different like graphical settings for each phone based on their capacity. I have no idea, but it's interesting. When do I think it'll release? Or I think they'll shove it out in August. I think it is coming in August. Jor Raptor, he was saying that he thinks that they're going to be probably waiting until E3 and they're going to do like a huge reveal event. I think that's probably a mistake or an oopsie to just go radio silent that long. Because remember, they still have people out there who have pre-ordered the game, who have already spent money on it. So, I don't know. It would be upsetting to me if they waited that long. At the very least, put out like a gameplay trailer or another trailer that has a couple snippets of gameplay. Just something, and then do a big reveal at E3. But we need something. Because this whole thing is really weird, and they're burning a lot of goodwill. Honestly, they shouldn't have even bothered with a mech character like Basim. I kind of agree. I don't find Basim very interesting. I get that they set up this whole character plot line with him being Loki, and I just don't find it interesting. And I love Jor Raptor. Don't get me wrong. I love Jor Raptor, but I would say this to his face. I think sometimes he's too far down the rabbit hole, and he kind of misses the forest for the trees, like, or the trees for the forest, whichever it is. Fix my saying for me. I think he basically loses sight of the bigger picture because he's so focused on the smaller stuff, because he's constantly playing Valhalla. He's constantly doing videos on all the new gear drops and things like that. And I think sometimes that can cloud or obfuscate his view to what is going on in the meta. And I think the big meta issue is like forest from the trees. Okay. I think he's just missing the forest from the trees. You know, I think that's going past him. Did you ever play South Park mobile games, Luke? I would like to know what you thought of it. I think I played it for like 45 minutes. Nothing more than that, though. But I did download all the DLC for the Cas Bonita expansion and stuff for the Fractured Butthole, and I want to go through that. Phoenix Rising is good. Yeah, Immortals Phoenix Rising. I actually really, really like that game. It's a bummer that they didn't like advertise it. It didn't get anything out there. Go for it, Rocky. Reckon we will get old AC remakes and remaster. I think it's easy money, if I'm being real. Capitalize on that nostalgia, but they can't get, apparently they can't get this Prince of Persia game out. What it could be is this team that they had working on the Prince of Persia remake, they thought they would finish that quickly and then they'll move on to Assassin's Creed 1 and remake that. But apparently it's been such a disaster, they've had to like kick that team off the project and somebody else is going in and finishing it for them or redoing a lot of it. So I think things have kind of gotten thrown up for a loop. AC Qatar. Oh, maybe. Disruptor's a shill. Couldn't take him seriously. Everything Ubisoft does is amazing. I haven't watched like enough of his recent videos and catalog to say he's a shill either way. Like for me, he fits into a similar category of like Lone Vault Wanderer or something. Like he's clearly a fan. Like he's a hardcore fanboy, and we love him. We love him for being a fanboy. He follows those games very closely and he loves the studios and he's very passionate about it. But what you see is what you get, which in many ways is more valuable than a lot of content creators out there. Because you know what you're getting with Your Raptor. You know what you're getting with Lone, you know? There's no mystery. You know what you're getting. And in that transparency is actually a good amount of security too. Because like when I want to hear about the latest news on Ubisoft stuff, I go to Your Raptor and I watch his videos. I know he's probably going to like be really excited about it because he's a fan. And I think that's fine. He's passionate, you know. Thank you, Sean.
Sean Dara donated 10 Australian dollars through Super Chat. Witcher 3% update happening.
Witcher 3%. I don't know why I thought that was percent. Yes, no, we actually, it's funny you mention that because I just pulled up the article on the update that they dropped specifically related to the PC version of The Witcher 3 Next Gen. So we're going to talk about it. Also, shout out Sean. Sean has made some very generous contributions to me, the family, the stream, the channel, everything. So, you know, big props to Sean. Sean's helping everybody out, helping make this thing run. So, big ups to Sean. I almost just impulsively said the thing that like people say in the chat of Wings of Redemption. Big ups, Liquid Richard. You know, shout out Sean Ranklin. But truly, thank you, Sean. Is Uncharted 4 worth the PS5 upgrade? Uncharted 4? I mean, I think it runs at 60 on the PS4. If you have a PC, just play it on PC. Like, but I would say if you're gonna play just Uncharted 4, like, no. The Last of Us Part 2 playing at 60 frames is butter. It's buttery smooth. I love it. I love it. Skull and Bones Game S Day 1. I feel like that actually might not be that far off. Okay. The Witcher 3 gets a PC hotfix to address next-gen updates stability issues. Pretty quick turnaround, if we're being completely honest. What they put out was Marcin Momoa, I don't know. He put out a tweet saying a hotfix that should improve overall stability and performance of the game has just gone live on PC. Please make sure to update your version of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and let us know how you're finding it. Should we just test this real quick? Should we try it? Let's try it. Jacob, just cut that there and we'll just jump into the game. We'll just go and give it a shot. Why not, right? We have the technology. We can do it. Update. Let it do its thing. Hopefully it doesn't tank the stream while we're downloading it. I think we'll be okay. Okay, we're gonna let it do its thing real quick. Jacob, love your face. You're the only YouTube channel I watch that takes Ubisoft seriously anymore. I guess it depends on how you define seriously. Like, we tease them a lot. For some reason, people like Totally Space that I pretty regularly call Valhalla like a travesty of open world game design. You know, that part, I guess, just isn't as catchy as, oh, but he likes Odyssey, though. Like, yeah, I like Odyssey. I think Odyssey's pretty impressive. I'll happily argue that point. Far Cry 2 and 3 others are kind of trash. Yeah, like, going back to what we were saying earlier, they're like junk food games. Junk food games. Like, it's almost like Ubisoft is the TLC of game dev. Like, they make all these reality shows, you know, TLC does. So, like, they don't make anything with a ton of substance, but it can still be, like, entertaining. You can still get, like, you know, pass some time with it. It's still something you might enjoy and get some pleasure out of. But, like, it's not going to have a ton of meat on the bone. But it's junk food, you know? It's junk food. Getting a PS5 for Christmas. What games do you recommend? I haven't played many PS4 titles, by the way. I mean, like, the easiest ones to say are, like, the most obvious. So, you know, like, oh, play Bloodborne and play The Last of Us Part 2 at 60 frames. Play God of War 2018 with 60 frames, you know, stuff like that. If you're already playing on PC, you probably have already done it. You could play Returnal. Returnal is pretty good. If you like those kinds of games. Demon Souls Remake is an easy recommend if you like Soulsborne style games. It's pretty difficult, but it's really well done. Very, very well done. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with Ratchet and Clank, but Ratchet and Clank is a good junk food game as well. Ghost of Tsushima, that's a great one, Rocky. Ghost of Tsushima on PS5 at 60 frames is a dream. A dream. It's great. I know I'm great. Don't worry. Spider-Man. Yeah, Miles Morales will run at 60 frames on performance mode, or you can do ray tracing if you want. That one's pretty good. A lot of these games have already, like, come out on PC. It's pretty crazy. But okay, it's done. The Witcher 3 launch. Let's see if that did anything. The main thing we'll be looking for on this, ladies and gents, is DirectX 12. The main thing we'll be looking for is GPU utilization. Because last time the issue was that we were having, like, decent frames, but it was not going above, like, 35 to 40% GPU utilization, which is pretty bad. It just means that the game's not being, like,
I see you got it before.
It's not using all of the resources available. Turn on the controller. I love mouse and keyboard. This is not one of those games that I play on mouse and keyboard. Why is the audio coming out of that port? That is thoroughly confusing. I don't know why the audio is routed out of that port. Okay. Windows, G. Pin, performance, FPS. And we're going to be looking at GPU utilization. Let's pin that. 63, 62, 67, 71. Still not great. We're still at like 50 frames, 55 frames, and GPU utilization is still in the high 50s, low 60s. Let's start moving and see if it fixes anything, or see if it, like, kicks into high gear. A little bit. You can see the CPU is only at 25%. No, they got more work to do, dude. Updated the drivers. I mean, as of last night, everything's updated. I don't think they released new drivers. Yeah, this is with pretty much everything on Ultra. So this is cranked. But the big issue is that the big issue is that it's not using all of the GPU's capacity, which is the reason people are upset. Because they're like, I have a rig. If this is getting 46 with only 50% utilization, if it can go to 100% utilization, could I get 90 frames? I know it's not going to work quite like that, but at the very least, could I get a smooth 60 or 70 out of it? I would say you probably should be able to, but I don't understand why the chart is so inconsistent like that. This is a 3080. And you see like 35, 40%. Like, I could play it at 40 frames, yeah, but like, I don't want to. I'd rather play it at 60 to 75. Let's graphics. Let's go back up here and let's just set it to ultra. I'll reload everything. Where's the GPU utilization now? Down at like 20-30%. That's crazy, dude. 40%, 35%. And frames are now in the 80s, but still, like, the GPU is only being utilized 30%. That's crazy, dude. It looks great, but, I mean, it just makes you wonder what this could run like if it were well optimized. If they could crank it. Hello? Is it babe and baby? Hello? Hi, it's Babe and Baby. Hey, dude. Oh, thank you.
Do your regular stuff on DoorDash.
Oh, that's okay. Hi. Oh, can I have that, please? Thank you.
Can you say hi to Dada?
Thank you. How are you? You feeling better? No. No. How are you? You helping Mama?
The whole banana.
You ate a whole banana?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No big deal. It's what I do.
It's with oat milk though.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Sorry. I went for really caffeinated.
Yeah. I told them about it. Everybody just said Nikki looks so tired. Yeah, we're both kind of running ragged.
You tell them I slept on the floor?
No, but yeah, she, at one point, to get Lockie to just chill out, she went in there and laid on the floor next to his crib. And that seemed to mellow him out. I don't know if it was like he was just...
slept with me on the floor.
Oh, he's on the floor with you. Okay, that I didn't know.
He fell asleep on me on the floor. And we slept on the floor for 2 hours. And then I transferred him.
Looks like I'm not wearing pants. I swear I'm wearing pants.
He's not wearing pants.
Oh yeah, I got this thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but it's a solo RPG adventure. So it's like you get a pen and paper, you build your character out, and then it takes you through a whole journey. It's pretty cool. A solo single player RPG in the form of a book. It's crazy. What you doing? Oh.
Want to go play for a little bit? We kind of had breakfast at 11, so...
It happens to the best of us.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything for a nap. Yeah, I think Nick, or hopefully Lockie goes out and just passes out at like 12:31, and then we're gonna take a nap. I probably will be wrapping up in the next hour or so that we can nap and relax. How are you? How do you have any energy at all?
He just did this.
He goes, I don't know. I'm just living my life.
Sorry.
He likes my trash can.
Yeah.
He's so
I
busy.
put the trash down.
Oh, good catch. My
I ran
goodness.
it down at 11. I heard a big truck go down the street, and I was like, ah!
We've been so bad about getting the trash cans out. It's an actual problem.
Well, and Luke has a problem with ordering so many things, and then brands reach out and they give him things, and we're just overloaded in boxes.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're like box hoarders at this point in time.
Did you throw away one of the Lego pieces?
No.
No, he just likes the lid. I saw somebody say he threw them away. I was like, did he just throw away like Hagrid's house? Oh, no sword, no
Hey,
sword.
Rocky.
It's very dull, everybody. Don't worry. It couldn't cut something even if you tried.
Don't say that. That's how we're gonna fend people off from our home.
Oh, yeah.
It's super sharp.
No, I have some heavy duty pepper spray. Like stuff that would kill a bear. Like you come to my house, I don't care if you're Rocky, I'm going to have to spray you. Kind of want to know what it does. So we're going to try it. We just have to draw the line somewhere, you know? What are you doing? You're so busy.
Keep putting Legos in the trash can.
Bear mace.
Nope, it's just alcohol.
It's like stevia.
Nope, it's alcohol.
It's probably margaritas and stuff.
Margaritas.
Yeah.
You bougie boozer.
Sponsor ad with a sword. If I can find a sponsor who wants to send me a sword or an axe or something, I would happily do a sponsored segment.
Don't throw them away. No.
I'll just slowly start lining the walls with weapons.
You're gonna throw away Hagrid's house? On the Whomping Willow? Okay, let's go upstairs.
Reverse day stream, wife streams, and you visit, and she says, it's babe and baby. That would be funny. Where you going? Bye. I don't know how he has energy at all. Like,
He was falling asleep during their show this morning. Alright. Hey, kid. Yeah, we're gonna go. But you gotta leave that here.
no.
It's Hagrid's house.
You can visit it again.
Can you give it to Dada?
Can Daddy have?
No one can have.
If I can't have Hagrid, no one can.
Come on, baby. Say bye. Bye, Dada.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
He's like, peace.
Got places to be.
Love you.
Love you too. Yeah, I saw this on TikTok, actually. I thought it was interesting. It's some guy out of the UK. And it was just a really interesting concept. Prepare to get lost in a world of your own imagination, steered by the rules within this book. This is a solo role-playing game, a game you can play by yourself. Write your character's journal as they explore strange lands of Colossal. Castle so colossal that fields, valleys, mountains, and even oceans rest within its rooms. It's really interesting. So if you want to support a small indie dev, look up and like Google this, Colossal. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm gonna have to dig through that trash here in a little bit and see see what he did. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Rocky. Isn't it just choose your own adventure? Specifically with RPG mechanics. So like choose your own adventure are just you go through, it gives you like 3 or 4 options. You pick which one, then it directs you through the story that way. With this, you actually build like a character sheet and then you'll work through like combat and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Like, is it amazing? But it's fun to like mess around with probably for an afternoon. It's pretty interesting. But going back to The Witcher, honestly, it's not bad. Do a Johnny Knoxville sponsorship and test a brand of pepper spray or a taser. Dude, I actually just was saying that I told Nikki yesterday, I was like, you know what sounds really good to watch? And she's expecting me to say like Elf or like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then I said like Jackass. I just want to watch some of the Jackass movies. She's like, what is wrong with you? I don't know, man. They're just entertaining. I find them fun. I've had the urge to go back and watch some of them. They're one of my guilty pleasure movies, even though they're objectively like pretty horrible. VRAM's high. RAM utilization is only 30%. That's to be expected. I have a lot of RAM. the FPS sitting at like 75 to 80 is certainly playable. But I mean, this is Ultra on a 3080 running a 7-year-old game. There is no reason this shouldn't be well over 100, maybe even approaching 200. This is with DLSS on, yeah. What if we turn DLSS off? Will that improve performance? That would be funny. Okay. Frames went up by like 20 to 30. The anti-aliasing is pretty terrible though. So that just tells me it is a DX12 thing. There's an issue with... Yeah. There's some sort of issue with how it's utilizing these like next gen graphical features. So yeah, now we're at 60-70%, but yeah, 80%. This is much better. 168 frames, 150 plus frames. This is much more in line with what you'd expect. And this has kind of been my luck with DLSS. Every time I turn it on, performance usually drops. It's really weird. But oh man, look at this. Just look how dense the foliage is. It's beautiful. This is running at 1440p. So this is native to this monitor. I just love Toussaint. It's so beautiful. I asked you guys before, what is like the real life version of Toussaint? Some of you guys were being sassy and saying like Sydney or Ohio. But do you know of any actual real world places kind of like this? Because I want to go to there. So like here you see screen space reflections. The downside, you look down, the reflections totally disappear. It's so toxic. I hate it. Let's see if we turn DLSS off. What if we now try to do ray tracing, but with DLSS off? Honestly, our frames are the same, but the GPU is being used at like 80 to 90%. So there's like DLSS is broken. that seems to be the problem. Huh. Weird. Yeah, you see how much better those reflections are? We can look down, they stay. Way better. Hold on, Rocky sent me something. What is this? Performance make overlays and RTSS. Navigate your Witcher 3 folder. You'll delete dxil.dll and those restart and it'll work then. Let's see. DXIL.dll is the DirectX shader compiler for x64 ARC, and the second file sounds like a translation layer. Does this force the game to run in DirectX 11? The person says it's still running on DirectX 12, but FPS is exactly the same. Placebo, RTSS also didn't start working. Basically took the words out of my mouth. This might get RTSS working, but pretty sure some shaders won't be loaded in and could impact DLSS and frame gen performance, as I'm pretty sure it's used for both. OTOH, some see it as a good performance break, albeit some eye candy may break. Maybe a decent workaround until CDPR fixes the issues. Huh, okay. I'll be real. I don't see how this. I don't see that this patch like did anything. I don't see any major improvements. The fact that turning off DLSS and just rendering ray tracing at native 1440p, that is utilizing the graphics card decently, and we're not seeing any sort of performance difference. Like the frame rates are basically the same. That's kind of crazy. Interesting. Luke, can I stream at 4K? I technically can on YouTube. That is a thing. However, what we learned, I don't remember what game we were playing, but we did try streaming with the cameras set to 4K, and they caused them to randomly shut off. I think it was Star Citizen. Simply because they overheated. So in order for me to regularly stream at 4K, I think I would need to upgrade cameras, which I'm down to do. You know me, I love upgrading random stuff when there's no need for it. But the problem is that would include replacing 3 cameras with probably Blackmagic Pro Cinema cameras, and then like I have to get either new lenses or lens mount adapters. So all told, it's probably like a $4,000 to $5,000 investment. So I'm not sure if the pros outweigh the cons. You know, like when these cameras die, yeah, no, sure. When we have to replace them, I'll replace them with those new ones, and we'll be able to do that. But as of right now, I just don't know if it makes sense. Shane, just popping in to say your God of War video is nearly as good as the game itself. Very sweet of you. Thank you so much. Watching it made the story even better. Great work. Was it as long as Justice League? Who knows? I don't know. I have not bothered to watch the Snyder cut. My buddy Michael tried to get me to come over to play or watch the Snyder cut, and I was like, dude, I have to get home this weekend. Like I can't just give up my entire week. So there is pop-in. Look up on the hill. It's not terrible. You see the shadows popping in? I ran right into this dude. Sorry. I don't think you're going to catch anything. There we go. I mean, this looks good. And the fact that we're running at like a stable 40 frames through most of this, it's kind of crazy. Like DLSS just seems to be broken. That seems to be the main issue, because the moment we turn that on, it breaks.
Donated $10 through Super Chat.
Thank you. That's what's up.
Would you really recommend this game with the update? Seems like it didn't change much. I have it on GOG for PC. Not sure if it want to play it or not.
You watch that GPU utilization plummet. Honestly, like, I think I still would recommend it. I think the difference is you just shouldn't expect to be able to crank ray tracing and stuff like that currently, unless you have like a 3080. If you have a 3080, like right now, we're playing this at 1440p on ultra everything. And I just set the ray trace or the DLSS to, I think it was balanced or whatever I set it to. And it honestly looks pretty good. We're running at 60 frames. I think this works. You could absolutely play through the whole game like this and have no problems. Is it as stable as it should be? No, it should be better. But this is not unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. And this is certainly the best way to play the game if you're going to play it. As for other things, like they've new content, they've, of course, increased foliage density, all sorts of stuff like that makes it an easy play. If you're playing on consoles, absolutely a must play. So, I mean, like, I'd say still go for it. You just might not be able to crank the settings as much as you think. But also, if you launch it in DirectX 11, just like you did before, you'll still get some benefits, like increased foliage is my understanding, things like that. But, like, you'll just have way better performance. And they're working on it. You know, this is still certainly playable. I think that this is fine. And I don't remember it running like this on launch day on the 14th. So maybe this patch did fix some of this with DirectX 12 and DLSS, because now DirectX or DLSS only dropped our performance down to like occasionally 50s, but like 60s, 70s, 80s, depending. Really not that bad. But this is absolutely playable, I think. I have a 4090 and at 1440p with max settings, DLSS quality, I'm averaging 180 FPS. That'll do. Can do 4K Ultra Plus with ray tracing and DLSS set to quality or balance, but there is the occasional dip below 60. Stuttering is still bad. I do agree. We have seen some stuttering. There is some of that. That could be refined, but that could also be shader compilation stuff that's fixed as you play more. So it might not be an issue in a while. Bro, that looks nothing like the sunset. What do you... I hate to break it to you. That has to be one of the worst paintings of this skyline I've ever seen. But it looks great. And it's only going to get better, right? So they're going to keep polishing it. But the legacy of this also is just really bad for CDPR, right? Their last game was a total train wreck, technically speaking. And this was their chance to come back and start winning over some, you know, fan admiration again. And it just feels like, once again, they release something that's pretty buggy and feels untested. And that's a problem. I think it just shows that there's some issue within the dev team between QA and the team that's working on, you know, refining these things and polishing it in terms of performance. And there's just some miscommunication, or maybe they just don't try. I don't know. But it's just weird. It's just weird. They just want to move on to Unreal 5. Yeah. Probably. They definitely focused on the console versions, right? I think that was the priority. Because like I said in my video on it, the common point that people were trying to raise was, what is the benefit of this for PC players? And without a doubt, the benefit is, the added content, increased foliage, native support for some of these cool features. But you were getting all of this with mods before. So other than the new content, there really isn't, and like native ray tracing support, there isn't a ton that is brought with this edition of the game that PC players hadn't already seen. But for console players, that's the people that really benefited from this update. So pretty clearly, I think they were trying to focus on console first and foremost. Yeah, see that stuttering, those hitchings? That might improve as we come to these areas later. But it's still annoying to have to deal with it. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Those things are level 46. Dear God almighty. Yeah, look at that. Look at the ruins. So pretty. So pretty. PC players are like redheaded stepchildren to most studios, which is weird because PC players tend to have better hardware to play games than every other console generation. I think a lot of it is just that they assume... Take out your... hold on. I still have to get the muscle memory down. I think a lot of it is that they just assume that PC players are going to be able to like fill in the gaps of like polish with their hardware. And so like, yeah, we don't need to worry about them too much. It'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll just, you know, crank the settings a little bit. Whack. Yeah, see, little stuttering like that makes me think it's shader compilation stuff. Oh. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great, but I mean, still needs some work. I think that's the lesson. But, you know, we tried it. We tried it. We gave it a chance. Okay. Chat's slowly going to catch up. Which armor that is? I don't remember what it's called, and I just shut the game down. I'm sorry. Okay. In a post revealing something that nobody gave a crap about, Guerrilla Games announced and confirmed that they are working on a multiplayer game set in the Horizon universe that will feature a brand new cast of characters and a new art style. In a job advertisement posted to Twitter, the Amsterdam-based studio said that it's, quote, looking for a new internal team developing a separate online project set in Horizon's universe. Bunch of job offerings, animation, design, programming, all sorts of stuff. Weird. It is continuing to create epic solo adventures for Aloy, and so it can be assumed that a third mainline Horizon game is also planned. This new Horizon or multiplayer project won't be the first game to expand on the Horizon universe, of course, with the PSVR version of the game coming as well. Interesting. Groovy. Thank you, Disco Cobra. That's most definitely what's up.
Disco Cobra 2013 donated $20 through Super Chat.
Appreciate
well,
you.
I
Very
recently
generous.
just purchased a new PC from Alexander PC. Some specs on it. CPU Intel Core i9-13900K GPU PNY 4090X.
A beefy boy, my goodness. 10 terabyte hard drive. Oh, it's the voice to text got overloaded. It's like I can't handle those specs. Yeah, that'll be a big boy. That'll be a boy. I remember you mentioning that you were checking it out and you were thinking of going for it. I think that thing is going to blow your mind. Like, even if you're currently running like a 3080, that PC is gonna blow your mind. Like, and if you're going from anything older than that, or even not being a PC player before, that thing is going to blow your mind. 'Cause that is the Rolls Royce of gaming PCs right there, without a doubt. Was it $6,000? I'd say probably like 4,800 would be my guess. It depends on if you had to overpay for the graphics card. I don't know. Dreamin', sup? Doing well. Glad to have you. Let's see. The humans are the least interesting thing in the Horizon universe. How about asynchronous multiplayer a la Evolve? Maybe. They could do something like that. I don't know. It's just, it seems like Sony now is like, we have to take advantage of these big franchises we have. We've got to do something with it. And so they're just having their teams crank out these random things. Are you keeping up with the Witcher news and some accusations on Henry? I've not heard anything about accusations on Henry. I do not know anything about that. But if you do know, you should pop the article in chat and we can check it out. Next setup reacts. We do have it. We just have to film it. Maybe we'll do it Wednesday. We could do that. Real quick, they also released new gameplay for Life of P. Life of P. That's the movie about the tiger. Lies of P is the game about Pinocchio. And I'm very, very excited for it. It looks really baller, if I'm being honest. I pressed the wrong button. If I'm being honest. You ready? Prepare your butts. Carlo Collodi.
I hope this reaches you. This city is falling apart. Chaos, madness, death, and But
I have an
you
outfit
can
just like
change
that.
It depends on the choice you make. Truth or lie.
I do think that everything they showed in this has already been shown, yes. They uploaded it 2 years ago, but you know what? It's another chance to look at Pinocchio, so.
I might be asking too much of you. But I don't have a choice. Only you can do this. Please, help me. Finally, we meet, son.
The stage is set.
The light shines brightest in the darkest of times.
All right, buddy, I'm here for you. Don't worry.
Confront your fate.
Don't give up.
Keep going.
You can lean on me if you want.
Protect.
Fulfill. Your destiny.
Oh, man. I'm so ready. I'm very excited. Very, very excited. I think it looks fire. They do show... Oh, I cut it. Hold on. There's more. There's more. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. There's more. Sorry. I'm the worst. I just got excited. Looks like a watchdog skin.
In the box, liar.
I'm thoroughly intrigued. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm excited though. Co-op, I don't think they've said anything about that. Let's see. Hold on. This Henry Cavill thing seems like a schmear campaign. Fresh Henry Cavill smear just hit. And you know what? It makes him sound great. Excuse me, you want to ruin this show? No, 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 no. Let me. As someone who gives a shit, I'll tell you what to do here. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I recently got this message and somebody was like, quote, "Do you want to know what really went down?" And I was like, sure. So let me just read it. It says, quote, "At the beginning of the show, Henry was good to work with. A lot of unusual demands that made people feel like he wasn't really a team player. But that's not unusual for a big star. Though in TV, it truly usually doesn't happen until the second season. But in season 2 and 3, something shifted and he became really impossible for women to work with." Okay. He would try to overrule her hold on. Did I skip? Which is always a big problem. But even worse here, because the showrunner is a woman, he would try to overrule her and try to get changes made last minute across the board without her knowledge, which, if you know anything about showrunning, is completely effed. The showrunner has to sign off on every minuscule detail down to the buttons on a costume. Female writers and directors were suddenly completely ignored on set, unable to do their jobs. Every department head was complaining. He started making comments. It wasn't a sexual thing. He wasn't grabbing anyone or being lewd, but it was just disrespectful and toxic all the time. Something to keep in mind here. What's come out after the fact and what seems to have gone down is that Henry became very frustrated that a lot of the writers and the showrunner, Lauren Hisrick, I think it is, they openly detest the source material from Andrzej Sapkowski, and they don't want to be true to that material. They want to kind of rework The Witcher in their own image, which Henry doesn't like, as somebody who's a big fan of the books and of the games, which were, of course, based on the books. He didn't like that. He wanted to be more true to the source material, and apparently that's what he thought he was signing up for. So this whole first paragraph seems to me like he was... like this could be explained by him just disagreeing with the artistic direction of the showrunners and writers, a lot of whom, I think actually the majority of whom, were women. Is it because they're women? No, it's because they're openly like going against the source material. And they seem obsessed with telling stories about characters like Frangilla, who literally no one gives a crap about, but whatever. He goes on, he's deeply addicted to video games to the point where, oh, can you believe? God, what a pig. To the point where it was like working with any other addict. He was distracted. He was late. He was obsessive. And a lot of people think that the misogyny came from the gamer world. Or sorry, came from gamer world. Again, like, I don't see how any of this, like, requires him to be a misogynist. If I disagree with you creatively and you happen to be female, I'm not disagreeing with you because you're female. I just disagree with you and you happen to be female. And if you're a dude, I happen to disagree with you because you're a dude. Like if I say, listen, I'm not going to let some woman tell me how to do my job, then yeah, that's pretty effed. But she does, like, this person is not even saying that happened. They're just like, yeah, he would like disagree with what we were doing. Okay, whatever. And this is starting to sound like the typical Tumblr rage post of like, you know, lock up all men, eat men are toxic, down with the patriarchy. They like video games, you know, it's starting to sound that way. Video game bro language is not how you talk to coworkers. What? He wouldn't stop. Someone on the show compared it to watching Get Brainwashed by QAnon. So they're just throwing QAnon stuff in there? How is this anything? He likes video games. Video game bro language? What? I would love an example. You know what? I bet their version of like bro language is that he said like DPS at one point. He's like, yeah, this sword is really great. It's got a really high DPS, I bet. And they're like, oh my God, what a pig. Wow. Like his whole personality shifted. Eventually his disrespect escalated. Okay, let's see how it escalated, because this is not at all convincing that there's anything going on. Do they really think that this makes them sound like the well-adjusted person? Maybe they do. Interesting. Okay, well, they go on. He would rewrite scenes without even alerting the other actors in the scenes until it was time to shoot. He decided that he didn't want any romantic scenes at all, no kissing, no shirtless scenes, etc. He wanted complete control of storylines, but really had no idea of the limitations of TV structure, budget, etc. He formed a weird alliance with one writer who was also a gamer, who eventually got fired after multiple HR complaints were made. And after that writer left, Henry did anything he could to hold up production and caused problems. Eventually, top brass at Netflix was tired of him, costing them money and with delays in HR investigations. And the showrunner was asked to construct a potential exit for him. Netflix reached out to him personally, and he was given one final warning and violated that warning with an email he sent to the entire writing staff after that meeting. That was it. For one, we don't know any of this is actually true. So just to be completely clear, we don't know any of this is actually true. This is all just like claims. But like all of this actually, I think just for fans of The Witcher make him out to be probably like more of a hero, if I'm being real. It's blowing my mind that somebody would write this out thinking it makes them sound like the well-adjusted person in the conversation. Because it really, like, it does not. This just comes off as somebody that was upset that he was coming along and disagreeing with their creative choices. And, like, would I say it's professional? First of all, I don't believe that he was straight up rewriting scenes and then just doing that. Like, somebody who's saying that, it makes me take this a lot less seriously, because you can't just rewrite scenes. Maybe they're saying like he was redoing dialogue, like his lines slightly, so that he would say it in a different way that was more in line with Geralt. If that's what they mean by rewriting scenes, then again, there's no issue there. But like, none of this sounds, first of all, none of it sounds sexist, which is what they're trying to say. Like, they just throw out the casual thing. The misogyny got worse, you know? It's like, that was your argument for misogyny? Like, no, there's female writers and female staff. You gave no specifics of things he did specifically to the female writers or staff. You just said that he disagreed with them and was disrespectful by not agreeing with them going against the source material. He signed on thinking that they were going to be true to the source material, and then they weren't. So he was like, screw this. And then throwing out the QAnon thing, I don't know, that's weird to me. It's a text-to-speech from a podcast? Okay. I mean, that explains some of the weird, like, typos in it. But yeah, that's... I don't find this at all convincing or compelling that there's an actual problem. I don't see how this would possibly do anything. Like, completely ignored on set. If that's true, and if it is that he just like would not talk to female directors or writers, if that's true, he just like the male directors he'd respond to, the female directors he wouldn't. Yes, that's a problem. And I would say, yeah, no, that's really messed up. And I would say that is cause for investigation and probably termination. It's just toxic. If I had an employee that was not talking to female staff, I'd fire them. Like, easy, no problem. Yeah, we're not doing that. But I don't know if, like, whenever there's a chance to offer specifics, they don't offer specifics. And then they just casually throw out random things like, you know, completely addicted to video games. And all of the misogyny came from the gamer world. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't find this at all compelling to think that, you know, cancel Henry. I don't find that compelling at all. So, I don't know. It's freaking weird, though. Freaking weird, dude. I don't talk to ladies, Luke. Yeah, cover it. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. I mean, it's kind of terrifying that somebody like him, if he rubbed somebody the wrong way, that they could just come out and accuse him of, like, all of these crazy sexist things. Like, this person basically is accusing him of. And that would go out on Twitter. People would call for his cancellation, and it could be totally untrue, and he would have like no recourse. It's pretty terrifying. That's why, like, you have to be pretty careful. What is this? He did famously rewrite one scene because the showrunner wanted to make the Roach death scene as a comedic moment. What? Huh. In both the Witcher books and the games, Roach is the name Geralt uses for his current horse. So when his current steed expires in the heat of battle or otherwise, he anoints a new mare with the title. The lore of it all makes the grisly death scene in The Witcher 2 feel layered. Killing off Roach is both an inside joke to fans who understand the circle of life and a truly gutting moment. I don't see how it's an inside joke. I don't, like, it's a reference to the lore, But I don't see how it's a joke. I don't know if I'd call it a joke. You know? Like if you have a character in your show who dies and then 3 days comes back, or like something like that. Like, yeah, it's a reference to the Christ's resurrection. Is that a joke? I don't think so. It's just a reference. It's a tie. Like, it doesn't make sense to call it a joke, but okay. What I think is amazing is your reaction is so standard from what I'm hearing. Hisrick tells me as I bemoan the death of Roach instead of asking her a question. We kill people, we kill humans all the time on our show, and people are like, how could you do that to Roach? She and the writing staff had their reasons. For one thing, horses don't live as long as humans, and, quote, we already had kind of pressed the boundaries of reality there. We knew that at some point Geralt was going to have to get a new Roach. The staff also didn't want Roach to die in vain, so they had to write in the Shunabog, one of the deadly species in the Witcher universe, to tear the horse a new one. We wanted Roach to die on screen in a very heroic way. And Hisrick admits that when she first wrote the Roach death scene, her instinct was to puncture the moment with a bit of meta-comedy. Henry Cavill pushed the moment to be more heartfelt. Eventually, Hisrick caved, which she said was ultimately the right call. Henry was so unhappy with the line. She recalls, finally, I said, you know what? You come up with something. I trust you. You know this material so well. You know the book so well. You don't even have to pitch it to me. He came back the next day with a beautiful speech that's at the end of Sword of Destiny, and Geralt is facing death, and it's such a perfect moment. Cavill's choice is simple but effective in his gravelly Geralt speak. He said, quote, enjoy your last walk across the meadow and through the mist. Be not afraid of her, for she is your friend. Yeah, I thought he loves each and every Roach. Like, it's not like a funny thing. Well, there goes another one. I don't know. They don't say the line. He was so unhappy with the line. She wanted meta comedy. I don't know, man. The more I hear about the inner workings of the show, I'm kind of amazed that it came as long as it did. But it just seems like they got writers on the show that don't like the source material to write a show about the source material. And it's bizarre because they're just not, it's not the team to do it. I read that line Hisrick said to Henry in a condescending Karen kind of way. I think it fits. Oh, should I say it? Hold on. Let me try it. Finally, I said, you know what? Hold on. I'll read it like one of my ex-girlfriends, okay? You know what? You come up with something. I trust you. You know what the material is so well. You know the book so well, so you don't even have to pitch it to me. Whatever. You win, as always. Whatever you want. Henry freaking Cavill. Whatever. The more I hear about it, I'm losing all interest in season 3 and 4. Because it just seems like all of their instincts were wrong. Like, I think that just... trying to turn that into a funny moment feels like you just really don't understand Geralt. Which makes sense why Henry would be so like, no, I'm not going to say that line. That is bad. That's not in line with the character. It just doesn't make sense. It's not true to the source material. Like, are we trying to write a Family Guy bit, or are we trying to write a show based off these books? It's weird how people pride themselves on not knowing the media they're replicating, like Halo or The Last of Us show, not trying to knock them, just pointing them out. Well, the difference is, like, with the difference, Sharky, is that with The Last of Us show, I don't know the Halo show, so I'm not going to talk about that one. But for The Last of Us, they specifically asked the actors not to play the first game and not to watch videos on it, not to do anything like that, because they didn't want them to come in with ideas of what the characters needed to do and say, they didn't want, in effect, like a carbon copy of what the game version of those characters was. So they asked them to come in and bring a fresh perspective, and that's what they did. But the writers of The Last of Us did play the game, do know the story. Of course, like Neil Druckmann, who wrote the first game, was heavily involved in the writing, and even he directed an episode of The Last of Us show. And so I think that it's just different. What we have here is players or actors who were familiar with the source material, who had read the books, or at least Henry. I don't know if they, like, I've heard any of the other actors say that they read the books or anything. And it's probably because they were told, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do something different. And it sucks because they got a ton of hype from all of this when the show first launched, but step after step, time after time, they keep screwing it up. What do you mean you won't? You did it for your nephew. Guys, we got a Watch Dogs game in 2014, 2017, 2020. Are we getting one in 2023? I don't think so. I've heard nothing about it. I think they're putting it on ice. So I would not expect it. Maybe 24. As somebody who works in film and TV, it's all about appealing to the widest market of viewers. They will heartlessly cut out important details to tailor to that audience. Yeah, and it's frustrating because they just regularly will sink their own ship. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I love a dark DC Justice League movie, not one filled with ridiculous out-of-place comedic bits. MCU has ruined the industry with heavy emphasis on out-of-place comic relief. It's one of my frustrations with, what is his name? Guy that directed Taika Waititi. I love Taika Waititi. I think he's very funny. I really like Jojo Rabbit. I like What We Do in the Shadows. But given like uncontrolled and unfettered access to writing and directing and everything, like in Thor, Love and Thunder and those movies, I just don't. I think he's like Kojima. He needs somebody to reel him back in and keep it leveled out. Because when he's allowed to just go, he just is a wild animal who cannot be contained. Jazar, thank you. Shout out to Cool Man Luke. We love the content, bro. What are the plans for the holidays? I will be visiting my family in Laramie, Wyoming. I will be going to Arizona for a bit. And then I'll be back probably right before New Year's Eve. And then January 2nd, we'll get back into the regular swing of things. So as of right now, by the way, thank you for the $4.99. As of right now, the plan, just so everybody knows, is for a video to go up Friday. We'll have videos going up while I'm gone through the end of the year. But we will have our last stream in here on Wednesday for the year. And I might do the occasional stream off of my phone, very candid IRL kind of streams from wherever I am, whether Arizona or Wyoming, whatever. In the car driving, in the passenger seat. I won't do it while driving, but something like that. And then, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. We'll do something like that. But there will be plenty of content still coming out through the end of the year. I think I looked at the calendar. There will be like a week to a week and a half without streams like in here. But other than that, everything else will keep chugging along. Some of the jokes at the end of the film were more jarring than funny to me. Carl, I do think that was a very hard film to land. Like, they were walking a tightrope. And I think they largely pulled it off, but there are a couple of jokes that I think, like, I didn't really find too funny. Like when she's handing the grenades to the kids to just run out and try to hug enemy soldiers. Like, I didn't really find that funny. Stuff like that. But it's also like, where do you draw the line? It's already such an outrageous story, and but all told, pretty good. What will your next 3 critiques be? At this point, it sounds like we're going to do a mini critique of High on Life. That might even go up by the end of the year. So we'll do something on that. Of course, we're going to do one for Hogwarts Legacy. I think we will do something maybe for the Dead Space remake. I don't know how we do a full critique on it, but I guess it depends on how you define critique. For me, when I hear critique, I think of my huge videos that are like 2 to 3 hours long, or I should say 2 to 5 hours long. And those are meaty, and I can only tackle those for like the biggest games of the year where I think that they'll actually perform decently well over the long term and be relatively timeless. Hogwarts Legacy is one such game. I think We have a couple other games in February that will be similar. And later on in the year, like Starfield, those games I think would be easy enough. Are you going to do an I tried for Forspoken? I could. I just really don't think the interest is there. I think so many people are already turned off to it. I know that some people are interested and some people tried the demo and are into it, but I just think in terms of like comparing it to other big games coming out, I just don't think it can really compete. Watch Dogs games. I've actually thought about going back and doing an I tried and revisiting the first Watch Dogs. Silk Song, if it ever comes out. I would like to, yeah. No, I go back through the whole thing. They got to get that thing out, man. It's been so long. That's the thing about comedy. Everything can be made fun of. If you get offended by one thing, you're a hypocrite. Some things are off limits, but still. Yeah, Michael, and it's like not every joke has to land, but I do think that there are times where like pacing is really tough in comedy to pull off. And especially a movie like Jojo Rabbit has it has some heavy moments at the end. Like, you know what I'm talking about with the shoes. Some heavy moments come out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my God. And then like they have to figure out how to let that sizzle and simmer. And then they've got to bring the comedy back in and they have to massage it. Because if they do that heavy moment and then immediately right after that, you see like the German officer come out with the fringe and he's wearing his outrageous outfit that he made. It would be like, it would feel out of place. It would feel distasteful. It just wouldn't work. So you have to do this thing where you give something intense and then you let it like simmer and cool off. And then you go back in. It's the same thing like The Last of Us. There's no mistake that they did the intro of The Last of Us with Sarah dying. And then they had the big like 3-minute intro title sequence where the music plays, newscasters play, and then it comes in with Joel waking up from a nap. That is very intentional because they had to go from high intensity to the lowest intensity possible, literally just waking up. And for Jojo Rabbit, it's an incredibly difficult thing to balance that, you know. Jedi Survivor, yeah, that's going to be one that we'll play. I don't know if we'll do a full critique, but I think once I get my hands on it, I'll know pretty quickly if it's going to be good enough to justify that. I would expect it is, but still. Maybe I need to go through the first game over break, over Christmas. Fallen Order, then do some on Survivor when it releases. I'd like to go back through it. I had so many problems with Jedi Fallen Order when it launched that playing it on PC would be fun. Choo Choo Charlie review. I think I missed the boat on that one. If I'd put it out the day it launched, I think it could have done well. Just when like all those articles were coming out about, oh, the game's actually, it feels, you know, like we looked at the review. It has a markedly low budget feel. It's like, it had a low budget. Like, yes. Wow. Stunning observation, you know. Don't you mean you missed the train? I see what you did there. Far Cry 6 on PS5. I'd say if you can get it for like $40 or under, yeah. It's fun. Like, it's not, again, it's a junk food game. Most Ubisoft games are junk food games. Don't expect anything too meaty, but in terms of what's offered there, I actually think it's one of the strongest gameplay offerings that the franchise has probably ever had. Narratively, less so, but it's also like Giancarlo Esposito is also just utterly tremendous, you know? Do an I tried RE4 video before the remake. We could do that. The dopey humor of Airplane, Top Secret, and the Hot Shot movies were dumb. Great dumb fun. These days it feels like we got to be funny and serious at the same time. Yeah, there are some just outrageous things though. I think that, like you just have to. It depends on where you're looking. Like Jackass Forever launched, I think, last year, and that is the definition of dumb fun. Like, it opens up with that whole sequence of the guy with his like dick painted green to make it look like Godzilla stomping through a fake city. Like, that's how they open the movie. That movie is outrageous, and it actually did pretty well at the box office, is my understanding. They made some money on it. It's utterly tremendous, yeah. Did Nadia get banned again? Or is it the same? Is it the same ban? I saw her apology. No, she's still up. She's still on Twitch. She posted an apology that was hilariously terrible. It's unbelievable to me that Twitch is struggling with a decision on whether or not to ban her. Like, clearly she should be banned. There is no question. But they're still like, oh, 5 hours? Yeah, that's fine. That sounds fair. She learned her lesson after 5 hours. Like, who is in charge of that? Like, and what did she do to get on their good side? What did she do that made them go, we got to take care of this girl? It's unbelievable to me. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. That is a very good question. I do not know. I would love to know about it. I do not know. I've heard nothing. Like you guys know, I have people at Ubisoft that talk to me. I have connections and sources, and I've heard nothing about Avatar, nothing about Mirage in recent months. It's just radio silence. It's weird. I don't know. Like I said, Valhalla, I was offered to play that game, and I got to play it for like 3 hours, 6 months before the game launched. And we don't even know what Mirage looks like. That's crazy. Is this Nadia thing a 50-50 thing or something? Half think she cheats, half don't. What's the story with her? A lot of people think that she cheats. There are apparently a lot of simps for her who are like, no, she doesn't cheat. She's a queen. And watch her. I think she has a large female audience as well because she's very bombastic and they like that she gets like gamer dudes really upset. But like, again, I just honestly don't get it. I don't get why people like pistachio ice cream. I don't get why people like to like go and get their buttholes bleached. I don't know why people watch Nadia. You know what? It's just one of those things. I don't get it. Plus, like, for some people, I can understand why they have an army of simps. I seriously don't get Nadia's appeal. I think she looks like a Teletubby. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I don't understand any of that phenomenon. Maybe it's just hate watching. She has 15,000 subs on Twitch. I don't think those are hate watchers. Wings of Redemption has hate watchers. He doesn't have 15,000 subs. Look, I told you about that anal bleaching confidence. Christian, yeah, sorry. The reason I brought that up is because I saw a clip of her teasing one of the people in chat. She pulled up like their Twitter account and she started making fun of how they looked. So I thought it'd be fair. But you're right, we shouldn't do that. I just don't get it. Same with like XQC. I've told you guys before. There's some streamers I just don't get it. I feel like I'm missing something. Like XQC has a lot of people who are like, yeah, no, he's not very good at the games and he's kind of outrageous and silly and stupid, but you know, he's entertaining. And the dude has unbelievable viewer numbers. I just don't get it. Like, I've just accepted it. Sometimes I just don't understand what the appeal is. Oh, this is cute. This is cute. Look at this. Chandler got sick last week, so missed sharing these wrap-up pictures. We finished from filming the gameplay showcase number 2. Thanks to I'm Ben Snow for coming out to the studio and helping us show off even more of the game. Look how cute they are. I will say I have loved these little showcases they've been doing for the game, even if the collector's edition looks hilariously stupid. I just think like they've done a great job being super transparent. They come off really well, very like passionate about it. I just think it looks, I mean, it's refreshing. And if this guy Chandler really is the brains behind the operation, the one that's making all this happen, I think it is, you know, props to him for putting this together, because That's pretty cool. By the way, everybody, buckle up, because there's going to be an army of people that will attack you near Hogwarts Legacy's launch for buying the game or playing it. So just buckle up. Buckle up. Start prepping your block buttons on Twitter. It's going to get toxic. Hi, Luke. I think Obi-Wan could be Cal Kestis's brother. Thoughts? Oh. That would be a very interesting plot twist. I do think they have, like... Well, how does that timeline work out? Because we ran into Darth. I really don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I have to go back through and see how the timelines would line up. But I do think that they have a ton of... I think they have some tricks up their sleeves with the story. I do think so. Christian, that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's bigger than her at this point. For sure. Hey, Luke, do you think fighting games have changed to bigger, more mainstream kind in the public more? I do think that they have a large appeal. Like Injustice, I think, was everywhere when it launched. Mortal Kombat 11, I think, was a little less like viral, at least from my perspective. Injustice 2, I felt like everybody was playing it, everybody was streaming it. Mortal Kombat 11 came out, I was like, but what I think that they're doing better and better. As for like Street Fighter and those games, I don't know if those are finding a bigger audience now than they did before, but the numbers might reflect that. I'm not sure though. Imperium, I just saw that. I'm not going to show this because I want to be mature and professional. But Imperium did Photoshop something that is stunning, brave, and beautiful, and I will leave it there. That was very well done, Imperium. Damn. Oh, Palpatine voice. Do it. Do it. Oh God. I don't know, man. I don't want to be that guy. Okay, let's see how good your pause game is. Let's do that, okay? Pause game.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
You ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. Do I feel bad for it? No. She like openly doxes people. She's like objectively a terrible person. So like she's not sorry at all for it. So no, I don't feel bad. Let's see. Let's run through some of these last little things. Let's see. Let's open this. Let's open that. Oh yeah, we got to do that. I think we'll have to get to these last ones after. Yeah, we'll get to the last ones after that. Oh, God. I think I'm a member of the New York Times. Hold on. It's making me log in to read articles. Okay, next little tidbit. Yeah, no, Christian, absolutely. It actually is baffling. I seriously don't understand. Like I've tried to look at it from like the other perspective. Like, okay, if you're defending this, like her getting unbanned so quickly, what is the argument? And I can't even find like a Nadia Simp who will explain. They just think like, well, you know, what goes around comes around. Or like somebody said, an eye for an eye. If he's calling her a cheater, she should be able to dox him. I'm like, okay, well, even if you think that that's how the rules should work, the rules on Twitch are clear. If you dox people like knowingly, intentionally, with vindictive intent, you're banned. That's it. That's what their rules are. I don't know. She must have dirt on someone at Twitch. I just don't know. What it seems like to me is that there are like the team of people that gives these approvals or disapprovals have like it's maybe 5 or 6 people who make these big decisions. And one of the people that's making this decision just happens to really like Nadia and, you know, screw the gamer dudes. And so they're giving her special treatment. It's weird. Yeah, without a doubt, Christian, it's favoritism. Richie, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. By the way, we're doing members only streams now, where we play games together. And all you have to do to join it is be a member. So Richie will now be able to come in, but just a little heads up for that. Ultra, we did talk about that earlier. Sure did. Here's some money as you are utterly tremendous. 16 times the love. Much love to you, Carl. Very generous. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Or maybe it's because, or it's a somewhat struggling platform where the top Twitch creators are leaving, so they don't want to lose their cash pig. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it could be that they just said, don't do anything that would push creators above this threshold to YouTube. And if she was banned for 6 months, she would go to YouTube and probably just move on. So maybe that could be it. It kind of feels that way. So cash pig. Yeah. Yeah, members only streams favoritism. Yes, yes. My cash pigs are my favorite. I'm kidding. You're all my favorite. You're all wonderful. But we did want to give some extra perk to people who are members. And we thought like game nights and stuff would be kind of a fun way to do that. So to small female creators, it does kind of seem like that. I don't know if, but like Hassan also has had special treatment. Remember, like, well, maybe not actually, because he and Vaush got banned for calling people saltines. Remember? Christian, thank you for becoming a member.
Carl Cross donated £4.49 through Super Chat.
Dilly, thank you.
Here's some money as you are utterly tremendous. 16x the love. 16
times the love. Yeah, thank you, Christian, and thank you, Meonis. Thank you. Yeah, like Hassan, I don't even think got special treatment because he got banned for that. Vaush got banned for that. I think Vaush is still banned on Twitch. I think he's on YouTube now. There was somebody else who got banned for it as well. I don't remember who the third person was, but yeah, the small female streamer who had relations on stream, yeah, she got like a 14-day ban, I think. Even though according to the rules, that should be an outright ban. There is just weird stuff like that. Yeah. She got a slap on the wrist and loved it. Calm down, Shane. I don't know, man. It's freaking weird, but that sort of special treatment for small female creators is just weird. It's weird. And that's why, like, I think, you know, YouTube streaming right now is dominated mostly by men. And honestly, it's probably because, like, the hot tub category that a lot of the top streamers on Twitch, like, I think it was 4 out of the top 10 or top 12 or something streamers on Twitch are hot tub streamers. Which for a platform that's supposed to be about, like, gaming, that's kind of amazing. But I don't think you can do any of that on YouTube without getting, like, flagged. You know, Vaush, yeah, I every once in a while get in the mood to go through and catch up on, like, the debate circuit. A lot of the debate bro stuff is really cringy to me. There was one really funny one I got recommended in my TikTok feed. It was a guy, oh man, maybe I can find it. Hold on. It was actually, like, whatever you think of Destiny, I think is fine. Like, who cares? But it was Destiny talking, God all-knowing, I think is what it was. It was Destiny talking to an actual crazy person. A guy that, like, honestly might be slightly psychotic. And he asked him if God's all-knowing. And if God's all-knowing, if he knows some other stuff. Oh, I see. Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine. My hard drive filled up, so it had to stop recording. Let me see.
To be clear.
it was this debate. But it was
Earlier when I asked you, can two people sure, I'll repeat the
this
question.
guy's like insane.
Two people try to resolve a moral quandary. Two people have a moral question, and they come to the answer, and they have two different answers for it. But they both say that they've received.
Is this it?
And I'm not talking to you about Nazi law.
I'm not saying you are. But
I never said you said I was. But I'm saying, like, if you're asking me like, from a Nazi's perspective.
But no, God was incarnate, and God was not a homosexual or a coomer. Speak, and it's just sad.
Hold on.
I mean, just again, prove.
Can I ask one question real quick about that? In terms of the God thing?
I think this is it.
Tristan, do you believe that God knows all things?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, absolutely. God is omniscient.
Does God know what it feels like to take a dick in the ass?
I mean, just again, proving how demonic and.
I'm just curious because you said God has knowledge of all things, right?
I mean, again, complete disgust, complete disgusting blasphemy coming, and it's not surprising, you know. And these are the types of things you would.
And the guy just like starts to totally lose it. Like he's it's actually pretty scary. Like the guy is just disconnected, shall we say. But every once in a while I'll get in the mood to go back through like videos like that, and it's just so funny. It's just so funny. Devex, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. So, like, I agree with Vaush on some stuff. I agree with Destiny on some stuff. I agree with Hassan on some stuff. I generally disagree with their methods of communication. Like, one of the ways, like Hassan was described to me, was that Hassan is the Steven Crowder of the left. And I think that that actually is pretty accurate. I'm like, yeah, I could see that. And then, like, in a lot of ways, Destiny is like a mid-left Ben Shapiro. Like, he talks super quickly and just blasts through stuff. So that, like, there's problems with everybody, but you know, there's also benefits to everybody. Everybody has a little something to offer. Did you see Amazon is making God of War series with Cory Barlog's involvement with great or awful no in between? Yeah, I'm thoroughly intrigued. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they get Christopher Judge to play Kratos. That would be amazing though. I don't know. I swear to God, if they cast The Rock, I will not be watching it. I'm just sick and tired of The Rock. I'm just tired of it. I'm like, come on, give me somebody new. Anybody. This one, Amazon is set to publish the next Tomb Raider game. And it will be the first major single-player game for Amazon. It is a coup for the retail giant who has struggled to gain traction with its video game business. I think they basically just acknowledged and accepted that, you know what, developing games is really tough. So we're just going to hire people to go and do it for us. And this is the way to do it, I think. We'll see what it's like. I would expect there to be some heavy monetization in it, but we'll see. It's interesting to see them get into this, but Amazon is known for having extremely deep pockets. So what you could see in the next maybe, I'd say maybe 5 years, maybe 8, is Amazon going and starting to throw money at indie devs, at small studios, and just tossing tons of cash at studios. And they were like, hey, if we only get, like, out of the 100 games that we fund, if we get 10 bangers, we win. So they're just going to start doing that. And then they can write it off on their taxes as expenses. Either way. It's like buying up startups, basically. So I would expect that Amazon is going to start to do this very heavily. If I were Amazon, I would start buying up game studios. I would create a publishing arm. I would do all sorts of stuff. Because, I mean, it's easy money if they do it right. So we're going to see a lot. Mark my words. This is my prediction right now. We're going to see a ton of Amazon funded games in the next like 6 months. Or not 6, like 6 years. Okay. Mark my words. This next story is interesting. Wrong screen. There we go. Okay. Microsoft could be introducing a cheaper ad-supported Game Pass tier, a survey suggests, which shows that they're trying to figure stuff out. The thing about this doesn't mean that Game Pass is struggling. No. What this means is that Microsoft is trying to find ways to continue growth. With these types of offerings, if you go and like you study finance or anything, the name of the game for these modern tech companies is growth. The problem is eventually you kind of run out of people to sign up for your stuff. That's what Netflix ran into. Eventually, everybody knows about Netflix. And if you want Netflix, you have Netflix. So the only way they can get new people to sign up is by closing loopholes. So you can't use multiple people can't use the same account. Going and setting it up so you can sign up for a cheaper ad-supported version so that it's cheaper. So if you thought that it was too expensive before, now you can sign up with ads and deal with that. Things like that. So they find ways to open up new paths of growth to get new signups. That's what this looks like to me. It just seems like a new way to open it up even more. I don't know what it looks like to have ads. Yeah, it's not clear how these ads would be manifested, but it's interesting. One option would see players pay a lower fee, but have access to first-party Xbox titles on a delay, which would be as much as 6 months. A reduced tier could also see integrated ads as part of the service. However, it's not clear how these ads would manifest. I don't know. It starts to get a little weird because you would have to, if they go with this first option, it would basically look like maybe PlayStation Plus in some ways, the cheaper version at least, where day one Game Pass releases, they would turn into day one Game Pass Ultimate releases. But if you have the base Game Pass, you get it a month after launch. That's a little less exciting. And honestly, I'm not sure how well that would do, because I think most people would just say, screw it, I'll pay the extra $10 this month, which is exactly what they want. But still, maybe they can set it so it's like a $5 upgrade to go in and do it. I don't know. What is this, Imperium? Maybe they should have asked, I don't know, someone who would know what it takes and went above and beyond. Just a thought, ... Christopher Judge is absolutely ripped. Jesus Christ. That's unreal. Dude's built like a tank. Yeah, I hope they hire him. He'd be great. But anyway, let's see, back to here. I don't know. They'll find ways to do it, but they're experimenting with it. They're trying to figure it out. This is interesting. Speaking on during a web call earlier this year, transcribed by Video Games Chronicle, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella stated that Game Pass usage growth, quote, across all platforms was driven by the strength off console. He said, quote, PC Game Pass subscriptions increased 159% year over year. And with cloud gaming, we're transforming how games are distributed, played, and viewed. More than 20 million people have used the service to stream games to date. It was just reported earlier this month that the service has generated around $2.9 billion in revenue just on console in 2021. Yeah. No, Game Pass is popping off. And there is no argument. I don't care if you love Sony. There is no argument. PlayStation does not have a competitor to Game Pass. The PlayStation Plus offering is hilariously bad in comparison. It just is. I hate to break it to you. It just is. It can't compete. Jason Momoa, he went to school. He went to college in the same college I went to. I missed him by 3.5 years. I worked on a musical with my director. She actually had worked with him at a restaurant that's since closed in Old Town Fort Collins, but he's from Fort Collins. She said Jason Momoa was a terrible coworker, that he was lazy, that he just flirted with everybody the whole time, and that he wouldn't shut up about how he wanted to be a professional surfer. And eventually he quit and moved to LA. I think he was trying to move to Hawaii eventually, but he was going to go to Hawaii, try to become a professional surfer. One thing led to another, and somehow he got cast in Game of Thrones, and then the rest is history. So it's my Jason Momoa story. I don't think he'd be a good fit for Kratos. Also, I think that he would not shave his head. Funnily enough, that I think would be enough to disqualify him from the role, because his hair is such a staple thing for him that I don't think he probably has sponsorships tied to it where he can't shave his hair. I know it's funny, but Taylor Swift famously had an insurance policy on her legs because her legs were iconic and very stunning. at least in her opinion. So she got an insurance policy on her legs. So if they ever were damaged or something, each leg was insured for millions of dollars. You know, like it's crazy. But I would guess Jason Momoa also has an insurance policy on his hair. It sounds crazy, but when you're talking about millions of dollars tied up in something as simple as the way you look, you'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, Messi and Ronaldo also got insurance on their legs. Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. Hey, Luke, when are you doing a new Rig React video? Hashem, we're going to be doing a React, I think Wednesday. I think Wednesday we'll do it. Taylor Swift for Kratos. Meryl Streep. Isn't she just tremendous? I think Meryl Streep's fine, but like it drives me crazy that everybody talks like she's some sort of goddess of acting. I'm like, no, she's like, to me, she strikes me as like a really solid community theater actor who's like good at what she does, but like she doesn't seem that great. I hate to be that guy, but like, I don't know. I'm gonna get some people calling me. I'm gonna get doxxed by some fangirls. Okay, last story, and then we'll wrap it up because I need to go take a nap because I'm running on fumes. Melissa McCarthy as Kratos confirmed. Let's do it. Diablo 4 limited collector's edition revealed. It doesn't include the game. Now, I actually don't think this is as ridiculous as it initially sounds. It's priced at $96.66, and it comes out a solid like 3 weeks after the game does. So they cut the price of the... Is this going to be it? No, it's not. They cut the price of the collector's edition so that it would just include the items of interest, and they took out the cost of the game because, of course, you will probably already own the game. If you're going to buy the collector's edition, you probably care more about playing the game on day one. So, yeah. But they show off all this stuff. No game included. Candle of Creation, Occult mouse pad. It's so small, though. I don't know. You guys have seen my stuff. I mean, look at this. I have a freaking gigantic mouse pad. It's technically a desk pad. I could never go back to using something like this. That would be like this big. It's tiny. I just can't. Pin of Herodrim. Okay. Diablo 4 collector's art book, matted fine art prints. And that's it. Honestly, like a cloth map of the sanctuary. Okay, so this is a cloth map. Like, this looks cool. Mouse pads and no non-starter for me. That thing is kind of interesting. I do like the pins, but they're not super useful. The candle. It's a candle. Okay. Matted fine art prints. So like these art prints are 18.5 inches by 10.5 inches roughly. So they're pretty big, but they don't come framed. It's like a cardboard frame, so you'll have to frame them. Doesn't look bad. I don't know. For $100, that's pretty aggressive if I'm going to be real. It's pretty aggressive, especially because the art book, you'll probably be able to buy the full art book for like $50 on Amazon on launch day. And that's the main thing I'd be interested in for this. Like the candle doesn't seem that interesting to me. It's probably like 3 inches tall. You know, I don't think they even say. Yeah, it's an electric candle. You'll be able to find this on Etsy for $5. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy it, but I also don't think, as far as collector's editions go, I don't think this is the most ridiculous one that I've seen. That Hogwarts Legacy one contains arguably less interesting things than this, and it's $300. It does come with the game though, so there's that. The Platypus, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. John Travolta. Boy, oh my God. That actually would be kind of funny. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do the ranking list on Wednesday. We'll knock that out. We'll do that and then we'll react to setups. By the way, everybody, if you have extra setups that you still want to send in to have me react to on Wednesday, send those in to Rocky on Discord or Imperium. Again, on the Discord, it's in the link tree in the description box, so you can just click on that, join our Discord, and then message those to Imperium or Rocky, and then we'll add it to the list for reactions. Just a simple picture of your setup, and we'll react to it. It'll be super fun. Other stuff, blah, blah, blah. I can't think of anything. I think that'll work. Oh yeah, what if it's just Ben Stiller like they revealed in that ad? That would be hilarious. I'd be okay with that. That would actually be so funny. I'd be like, you know, I'm down. I'm down. Dave Bautista, I don't think he's a good enough actor though. Maybe he is. I guess I haven't really seen him really try, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go take a nap. I am utterly exhausted. Got like 2 hours of sleep last night. So I'm going to go relax and nappy nap. We will be back on Wednesday. I also have a new video up that went up this morning. So go check that out. It's on the review debacle of High on Life. So check that out. Brendan Fraser. Yes, absolutely. I would be down for that. I need to go see The Whale. Gotta watch that. I've heard great things. Have an utterly relaxing nap, Lou. Take care. Yes, Carl. Yes, Carl. Thank you to everybody who became a new member. We have 5 new members today. We got a bunch of donations as well. Those were very generous. Thank you all for that. Didn't have to, but I do appreciate it. As always, if you want some cool merch with 16 times the detail, you can check out LukeStevensTV.com. Again, in the link tree in the description box. Go check it out. Even if you don't see anything that you want, at least then you'll know. You can check it out.
16 times the detail.
You won't know until you try. So go check it out. Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Hugs and kisses. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for chilling with me. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. I love you. I'm bad at outros. Bye, bye, bye.